Hello, dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class with me, Stéphane Erler. I'm the founder of the Tea Masters blog at the tea-masters.com tea boutique. We are the 14th of the Advent. I've posted new pictures on my Instagram like I do every day for the 24 days before Christmas. I have another nice chashi. Actually, it's just behind me. If you did not see my pictures on the Instagram yet, the chashi is still there behind me. We have, of course, a Christmas tree, some Christmas decoration. However, in order to fit this dark novel by Emile Zola, Germinal, I have installed a much darker ambience, atmosphere here in front of me. And we are going to drink a very dark tea, Shopua, the Xiaguan 2001 Jingua Tuocha. So let me right away preheat my Gaiwan. I will want to have the black and white contrast because in Germinal, we are in a very dark environment. We are in the mines, uh, looking for coal. It's also most of the time winter. It's dark. The workers go to work at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when it's dark, and the um, the drinks in this novel really are a very good fit for the atmosphere. Really, we see that Zola is painting the atmosphere in his novel thanks to the drinks and the colors. And what better drink to symbolize the dark color of the north of France in the 19th century in a mine town? What better drink would there be than dark black coffee? So coffee actually is the number one drink in uh, in this novel. It especially comes up in the first chapters of the book. Really, so it's really there to give us the dark feeling about the background where these people work and live. Coffee uh, is not just any kind of drink, it's a drink that helps to get up in the morning. The workers are so tired after each day's toil that they need something to boost their energy in the morning. So coffee is one of these boosts. It's a good symbol also for the every day it starts again, and it's a dark uh, horizon that you have to go to the mine again and again and again every day until there is a strike, which will happen in the middle of the book, and which will be one of the um, make main drama of the story. Um, Beautifully written and with lots of nuances. The beverages are also used to show the differences, the social differences between the workers and the management and also the owners of the mines. We see that the Grégoires, the owners, their daughter is drinking chocolate in the morning. She gets up very late also. And of course, they also serve nice wines, champagne, Chambertin, Bordeaux. These are drinks that you don't find on the tables of the miners. So beverages really help to show the big differences in class between the miners and the top management and the owners. So, uh, um, of course, the houses, the cars they drive, the clothes they wear also show lots of differences, but drinks do their part to help us understand how big a difference there is between these two groups of people which coexist in the book. And another, then the second very important drink in this story is beer. Of course, it's a very traditional drink in the north of France. We are close to Belgium and Germany. This is really beer country in Europe, and they are drinking so much of it that Zola not only uses the word beer, but also the word shop. Shop in French is actually the glass in which beer is served. So instead of repeating himself beer, 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 he will say beer, shop, beer, shop. And beer has an interesting symbol because it is not just a drink, it is also actually nourishment for these workers who use lots of calories when they are down in the mine. So these additional calories are welcome. Uh, it's also a social drink. It brings them joy after work and brings them together in these estaminets, in these brasseries, in these little bars where it's possible to drink beer. However, they drink beer rather slowly. They don't drink too much, most of them, because actually the uh, real hurdle to become alcoholic is the money. They all lack money and therefore are not able to afford a lot of alcohol. Even beer is expensive for these miners. Let me start to drink also. Speaking about drinks makes me thirsty. Let's brew some chaud pour, also a very dark and actually rather affordable drink. Pour, especially chaud pour, is one of the most affordable teas, coming from a very poor province, Yunnan. And during the communist era, chaud pour was really very, very affordable. Now it has turned into a collectible because it's one of these teas that can be kept for a long, long time. And while Shengpur has the most potential for change, Shopur uh, does change a little bit, but much slower, and especially it becomes more harmonious and it loses some of these off flavors that it gets during the fermentation process. So when you get a young Shopur, sometimes it has some off flavors. Uh, with time, a couple of years, this gets better, but then there's not much of potential for aging. However, if it's a good Shopur to begin with, it will stay quite good and smooth and easy to drink. So that's, and also for the evening, a nice cup, especially now in winter when it's quite cold. Uh, Another traditional alcohol in the north of France is Geneva. I'm not sure I'm say it well. Genièvre in French. It's a high degree distilled alcohol where base of Genièvre are added to for flavoring this alcohol at the end of the process. So it can be made with any kind of cereal. It could be gin. And I think Genièvre gave a little bit partly its name to gin. And uh, and so this is one of the alcohol that is often used in the story, and it's used at times when where people are actually quite violent. It's so having a more potent alcohol, there's a kind of a link with violence. We see violence not just from the company towards the miners, where they have to work hard, but we actually, Zola is quite straightforward and also shows that workers among themselves are quite violent, uh, violent with their children, violent with their wives, violent with their girlfriends. Uh, there's a lot of violence going on in the book. Of course, it will reach its climax towards the end with the strike and several. Actually, we witness two murders. So there is a lot of violence and sudden death in the book, and alcohol. This very potent alcohol is also a symbol for a more violent situation. Each time we have this alcohol that comes up, it creates some more violent scenes. No alcohol here, and very peaceful, very dark, but yet a very full flavor, and yeah, it does not feel too exciting. Actually, it's smoother than the Tieguanin, and in terms of color, maybe even a little bit darker. So maybe the oolong, with its edge, potency, is a better fit, but and would maybe wake the miners better than chaud pour would make them feel asleep, and hopefully it will work with me tonight. There's also mention of water in the book. Water is supposed to be a neutral, very neutral drink, but in the story, water is also a symbol for the poverty of these miners, as the months are actually, they're paid every 2 weeks. So as the 2 weeks come to an end and they are about to receive payment for the next 2 weeks, the miners' diet very often thins more and more as they don't have much money left, and at the end, instead of drinking soup, they are drinking water, or instead of drinking coffee, they are drinking water. So water here in this book, more than purity, symbolizes the poverty, the extreme poverty of these miners. It's also worthwhile noticing that there is absolutely no mention of tea. I think in the saga of the Rougon-Macquart that I've been now reading for maybe 12 books already, the tea was always mentioned a couple of times at least. And in the last book we read, La Joie de Vivre, The Joy of Living, tea was actually the number one beverage. But here, for the very first time, if I recollect correctly, there is absolutely no mention of tea. So it's not because Zola forgot about it or is not interested in tea. Yeah, I think he has a purpose when he does not write about tea or does not mention tea in this book. Let's remember that tea is a symbol for exotism. It's also a symbol for refinement and for peacefulness, for harmony. And if he did not use tea in his book, not even with top management, with owners of the mine, they're not drinking tea, they're drinking chocolate or alcohol or fine wines, but they're not drinking tea. I think this really shows that even these um, rich people lack refinement and are more, and they are living in a somehow dangerous, violent world, very close to these workers, and therefore, and far away from the city in Paris, where we see that tea was often drunk. So the lack of tea, I think, really shows that even the top management does not have sense of beauty and harmony. And this story really lacks these qualities. And I think it's probably done on purpose that there is no tea, absolutely no tea mentioned, and that is one of the things that is actually lacking in the life of these people, harmony and beauty. Um, and it's interesting to see that Zola is not laying the problem at the feet of the capitalists, of the owners. There are actually several mines in the story, and one of the mines, a smaller one, where the owner actually is even working himself in the management, managing the mine himself. Uh, this mine tries to give decent wages to the workers, but Zola shows that it's not possible for this mine to be more generous, because otherwise the other bigger mines are going to thrive, and this mine, if it does not make enough money, it's going to be absorbed by the more powerful, larger mines, which have the economies of scale and are more ruthless towards their workers, are imposing lower wages, and are able to make more money. Actually, even what I even find interesting is that he shows that in the strike, everybody is losing. He shows, of course, that the miners are almost starving to death, but even the owners of the mines, they lose a lot of money, because um, when the mines are not uh, being worked regularly, the equipment decays, and also the galleries become more and more dangerous as they are not reinforced continuously. So they will need a lot of work uh, when they restart after the strike. So everybody is losing money. No, it does not help anybody, but it is the economic situation that makes that there is already enough coal. They don't need more. So uh, that's why they reduce the prices, almost hoping for a strike, because they have large inventories. But then the strike lasts too long and damages both parties. So it is uh, really not one-sided novel, as if you read resumes of uh, how to say, short versions of this book, or if you just read Wikipedia or even AI, if you ask AI, it tells you, oh, this is, it shows how nasty the big companies are towards the workers. Actually, the book is much, much more nuanced. It even shows that one of the directors of the mine has a wife who is cheating on him with his well, most of the guys, and he's completely unhappy about his life. He feels miserable. So even money does not buy happiness would be one of the lessons from this book. Uh, some actually, he even envies some of the miners who have faithful and loving wives. He thinks they are more happy than he is. So it is a book full of surprises that is really worth reading. And I think the angle of looking at it from the beverage point of view also is what we are interested in, since we are tea lovers. And even though there's no mention of tea, the beverages do make a lot of sense and add a lot to the symbolism, the social differences between these two classes of people, the miners and the owners and the management. So a book where beverages carry a lot of meaning. There are even three metaphors that are very powerful. They come more towards the end, so I don't want to divulge too much. Otherwise, I would tell you the ending. The metaphors are blood, river, and fire. So, wow, strange beverages. Blood, maybe if you are Dracula, a river, and fire as beverages. These are quite powerful metaphors that actually again show the violence that happens in this novel. Thank you very much. Give me a thumbs up. We are so 10 days before Christmas. If you still want to have some tea on your table for Christmas, hurry up. Otherwise, you will get it for beginning of January. No problem either. I'm glad that you were here today. Let me see if you have any questions. Today's more about literature. Oh, lots of remarks. Thank you very much. Due to my eyesight, I'm going to take it closer here. Terry writes, thanks for introducing Germinal. I am 1/3 of the way through. Great. Thanks for joining in the reading. Oh, Elizabeth writes, Genièvre is juniper berry in English. Thank you very much for this detail. Juniper berry. Okay, great. And Terry writes, juniper is a very common evergreen landscape shrub in our mountains. It is really nice for holiday greens because of the fragrance and the berries. And I guess it was, and it is also a very common fruit berry in north of France, and very cheap. That's why it could be used in this alcohol, and that is not too expensive, so that miners could even afford it, even though I think it was actually stolen in the book. Do you know what the study will be in January, or is it too soon to ask? Oh, I will probably introduce this next week. During the class, I'm thinking actually of doing some poor class. I think I never did a poor class. So I think I will assemble a tea masters class for poors, since it's still winter time. Poors are nice in this season, and I will make a very special offer, so that even though these are rare and fine pours, I will make them available at very reasonable prices, maybe even cheaper than if you buy them one by one. And yeah, I think that could be fun. A bit more work for me, but well, that's why I'm here for. And these are teas that I've carried for a long time. I think it's also time that I should describe them and show them in a live session, how to brew them. Great. Thank you very much for your reaction to this announcement. I'm glad that you asked. This one might make it to the class. Thank you very much for your presence today. I wish you wonderful Advent time, Advent day number 14. Thumbs up. See you next week. Bye bye.